Brother Marines. We have returned again on this day for Warhammer 40,000 Faction Focus, Space Marines. Because a faction focus in Warhammer 40,000 is being based upon Space Marines. Got it on the second try. As featured here. Space Marines are the undisputed poster boys of Warhammer 40,000. They're the mightiest warriors humanity can offer, further augmented by ancient gene science to forge perfect soldiers clad in formidable armor. The result is the Space Marine chapters. Oh yes, that's us, that's you, that's me. Each an elite cadre, each an elite of the toughest, fastest, and most ruthless warriors the galaxy has ever seen. See what I did there? For the first of our ongoing series of 100% definitely bias-free faction spotlights, definitely bias-free on this channel, we're going to find out why the Adeptus Astartes are simply the best. Well, I mean, do we really need to read on, as featured here? In the overview, we can see that Space Marines have always been the toughest warriors around, and they once again live up to the legend on the tabletop. Many units, such as Terminators, Centurions, and those wearing Mark X Gravis armor, now have higher toughness, while the game-wide reduction in armor penetration makes power armor feel as tough as it should be. And while rerolls to hit and wound are much rarer now, Space Marines have more access to reflect their elite status, chiefly through the oath. Let's try that one again. Chiefly through the Oath of the Moment faction ability. Your warriors may be few, but they're terrifyingly efficient angels of death. Here are their faction rules, as featured here. Space Marines are organized into self-contained chapters, which must be highly self-sufficient in the field. The standard doctrine of the Codex Astartes emphasizes flexibility, as exemplified by the Gladius Task Force Detachment. The Gladius Task Force Detachment. The battle-tested formation is available to every Space Marine chapter, whether they're slavish adherents of the Codex Astartes, or slightly more eccentric. Wow! Asterisk, indicating something at the end of the article. The detachment rule for the Gladius Task Force is Combat Doctrines, which gives players the choice of 3 powerful disciplines to focus on at the start of their command phase. These can really turn the tide at a critical moment. The Combat Doctrines include the Devastator Doctrine, the Tactical Doctrine, and the Assault Doctrine. The Combat Doctrines are at the start of your combat phase, selected from the combat doctrines listed below. Until the start of your next command phase, that combat doctrine is active, and its effects apply to all Adeptus Astartes units from your army with this ability. You can only select each combat doctrine once per battle. The Devastator Doctrine. This unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it advanced. Wow! The Tactical Doctrine. This unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. Wow. Assault Doctrine. This unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. Wow. Each of these combat doctrines only works once per battle, so choose wisely. Combined with the Oath of the Moment that all the Space Marine armies get, you can rally and unleash a hellacious strike on dangerous foes at the critical moment. Sudden, decapitating strikes are a Space Marine speciality, especially decapitating strikes from a Space Marine with only one shoulder pauldron, and they now so good at it that you, opponent, won't even time now to ask how your Terminators got so far up his grill. That's right, I read that word for word. Unit Spotlight. What can be said about the Land Raider? Wow! The venerable transport is to regular tanks what a Space Marine is to regular humans. A huge, impregnable demigod of a machine that protects its passengers just as well as it fights back, ferrying heavy weapons and heavier troops into battle. Ah, the Land Raider. It was the biggest guy in the prison around 3rd edition. Had to get one. Probably my favorite. The assault ramp is back. Wow! dropping cargoes of Terminators, aggressors, and whatever else you choose right into the thick of things, ready to charge. Except for your Primarchs. They're not going in there. No Primarchs. It says whatever else you choose, but you're not putting like a Warlord Titan in there. As we can see, here is its datasheet. With the Godhammer las cannon, apparently that's what that is now. Hunter Killer Missile, Multi-Melter, oh yeah, Stormbolter, and the Twin Heavy Bolter. Wow. Damaged 1 to 5 wounds remaining. While this model has 1 to 5 wounds remaining, each time this model makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. I see. And it also has these options, which don't really tell us much, but it can carry Terminators, and it can carry Gravis or Centurions. Excellent. Now, few units in the Space Marine roster are as big and powerful as a Land Raider, but the Primarch of the Ultramarines certainly fits in that category, albeit does not fit in the Land Raider. Robute Gilliman is as tough as a tank and twice as deadly, even before we factor in his superhuman spreadsheet skills. Wow. The Lord of Commander is the Imperium of the Strategic Genus, and par excellence, switching up his abilities every turn to make sure he's already supporting his men, as best as he can. Another great way to support the troops is by turning your enemies to paste, which is one of his abilities right here. And a Fate Gilliman is only too happy to met out with the Hand of Dominion and the Emperor's Sword. That's featured right here, and right here, technically. And as we can see, here's his stuff. He's got Primarch of the Aura and Master of Battle, and he's the author of the Codex. He's got some pretty good stuff here. Robute Gilliman. Pre-order now. The Weapon Spotlight. The Adeptus Astartes are well known for their ability to face any foe that the 41st Millennium can throw at them. From their twisted brothers and armored and alien battlesuits to hordes of muscled fungal hooligans, there's a Codex-approved weapon solution for just about any foe imaginable. When tides of ravenous tyrannids swarm over the horizon, Redemptor dreadnoughts spin up the Heavy Onslaught Cannon. These spit out an eye-watering 12 shots, at strength 6, a storm of bullets that will perforate low-toughness targets in droves, and can even rend through heavy armor via the Devastating Wounds ability, causing it to deal mortal wounds on a critical wound roll. Wow, as featured here. With vehicle toughness going way up in the new edition, certain anti-tank weapons have become more specialized against improved armor, while others have seen a boost in strength. In the latter category is the Heavy Laser Destroyer, as featured here, atop the Repulsor Executioner, as featured here, a perfect expression of the Space Marines' martial might. Or, for extra fun, point one at a termagant and watch them disappear like magic, which is heresy. So don't do that. Heavy Laser Destroyer, as featured here. The Stratagem Spotlight. Wow, wow, wow. There's now a smaller, more focused slate of unique stratagems for each faction. The Gladius Task Force provides 6 crucial options double asterisks, which distill the essence of the Adeptus Astartes like the old favorite Only in Death Does Duty End, is featured right here. Only in Death Does Duty End. Fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. One Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed, if that model has not fought this phase, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model unit is finished making its attacks, and is then removed from play. Your war gear has been carefully selected. If fighting back through mortal injuries were an Olympic sport, the Space Marines would take gold every time. This stratagem lets them do just that, soaking up whatever the fiercest foes can throw at them before making their killer truly regret the hubris. The word from the studio. Let's see what the studio has to say, shall we? Space Marine armies are elite, and able to adapt to defeat any foe. That's right, explains Robin from the Warhammer Design Studio. Well, Robin, let's read on. It was this adaptability that led to the Oath of the Moment ability, combining a targeted tactical choice with a devastating punch. This blend of tactics and power is further backed up by the Gladius Task Force Detachment, which grants the Adeptus Astartes unparalleled flexibility on the battlefield. With such a broad range of units, characters, and vehicles, all of which bring a different role or utility to the Angels of Death, we are excited to see what kinds of armies Space Marine players bring to the new edition. Wow. And then Black Library. Wow, this doesn't end. So where do you start if you want to learn more about our stalwart heroes? What do? Do I go to the library? Do I borrow a book from a friend? Am I able to find this as a PDF online? Oh, wait, never mind that last one. Don't do that. No, the obvious first step is Leviathan, the forthcoming companion novel for the new edition of Warhammer 40,000 by Darius Hinks. Wow! It tells the story of Lieutenant Castamon of the Ultramarines, and the Tyranids mount their deadliest attack on the galaxy yet, as featured here. There's a vast collection of additional novels and short stories about the Space Marines within the halls of the Black Library. And for their most recent trials and tribulations, it doesn't get much better than the Dawn of Fire series as featured here. The series follows Roboute Guilliman's efforts to save the Imperium as he gathers powerful allies about him, including the indomitable Captain Messinius, and sets off on the Indomitus Crusade. The saga begins with The Avenging Sun by Guy Haley, while the sixth novel, The Martyr's Tomb by Mark Collins, is coming later this year. Wow! The article is only the first in a long series that will cover every faction in the game, so stay tuned for every faction in the game. All of the rest of them will just be put into another article. So make sure to check our new edition of their new edition, that's right, to check out their new edition hub page on warhammercommunity.com below to find out what tricks your favorites have up their sleeves. First asterisk, several other famously less conventional chapters, including the likes of the Space Marines, Blood Angels, and Dark Angels, will get their own unique detachment rules. That's amazing. Wow. You'll be able to choose which ones you use as you compose your army list. And double asterisks, plus the 11 core stratagems accessible to all factions. Yeah.